guys. How you doing? Just trying to pick a filter for so Nora turned 10 months today, and I could not get a picture of her. Like, she would not sit for a picture. So this is the best I got. I don't know if you can, hold on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cute.
She's like, "Ugh." So I was like, whatever. But that's basically how she just doesn't, she didn't want to take pictures. So she's over pictures. She's spent 10 months taking pictures and she doesn't want to do it anymore. But anyway, okay. So we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Let me put this in here so I can see everything. Okay, cool. All right. So pay no attention to the ginormous zit on my forehead. I swear I have not had a zit in I don't even know how long, and like it hurts so bad. Anyway, it'll be gone in a couple days. It's hard for me not to be beautiful, but right now I don't feel very beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to go through the questions that were asked, and hopefully the people that need to hear them will jump on. Okay. So one of the first things that was asked was, I think Catherine's actually, let me just go to my Facebook page and we'll go right through them. All right. So the first question was, Catherine said, would love some feedback on your number one tip for success. So this one's pretty easy, and I thought a lot about it. I've thought a lot about it previously, so it's just something easy. My number one tip for success is to be coachable. I think that the people that are successful in our business are people who are coachable and always willing to learn and grow. The folks that aren't successful and that make it really, really hard on themselves are people that like to reinvent the wheel, people that don't like to accept help or think that they know the best way to do it. Sometimes you kind of have to let go a little bit of your pride. I don't really struggle with that too much just because I want somebody to help me. I want somebody to say, like, this is the best way to do this. This is how I found success. I mean, that's helpful for me. But some people struggle with that because they kind of want to feel like they're responsible for their success when in actuality they are, right? Because nobody can do it for them. But there is like no reason at all to reinvent the wheel when it comes to this opportunity. We already have so many people in our larger team, in our company, in network marketing who are successful, and they're successful for a reason. They know what they're doing. They've learned, and they've struggled too, but they've figured it out. And so why not just do exactly what they're doing, right? So that's what I need to do. And if you can have that mindset, you're going to be a lot more successful, and you're going to be successful quicker. I think the people who struggle with that and want to push against the leaders and want to reinvent the wheel and do it their own way, not only do they hold themselves back, but they hold their team back. And this happens on our team. It's already happening with certain parts of my team, and it's hard to watch sometimes because I just want everybody to be as successful as they want to be and reach their goals. I think what's super frustrating is when people say that they're not reaching their goals and they just don't know what to do, but at the same time they're not being coachable. And that's really, really hard. Becky, do you have a question?
Yeah. How can you make it your own without not really changing the wheel? You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I can probably inadvertently do that and probably accidentally change the wheel or something. And I'm not trying to do it.
Yeah.
Trying to make it my own. But how do you do that?
So I'm talking about, I think you're maybe bringing up something a little bit different too, and I'll talk about that. So what I'm talking about as far as not reinventing the wheel is not with the processes, okay? Meaning, we get a new customer, we send them the welcome information, we add them to our customer page, and we support them on their journey. We learn about the products as much as we can, and we help them get the answers and move with them. Somebody that would reinvent the wheel would make up their own directions, that have, all these different things on them and work on a PowerPoint to send them and be wasting their time when all these resources are already in place. Or they won't add them to their customer group because they just want to have complete control of the situation. While at the same time, these people are not getting maybe the support that they need. So that's what I mean about reinventing the wheel. They want to knock the system or complain they're not reaching their goals, but they're not doing the steps that were laid in front of them by the people that are already been successful. When it comes to making things your own with regards to posts, right, and how we market ourselves and attract people to us, totally different story. That's not reinventing the wheel. What would be reinventing the wheel is to try to invent a new way to market. We all know that attraction marketing is what works, right? Being salesy doesn't work. So basically what you do is you use attraction marketing, and if you don't know what that is, definitely look into it because it's something it's extremely helpful. I've done some things on it, so I can share those with you guys. But use attraction marketing, but make it your story, right? So things that are about you, what's important to you in life, and use that to attract people to you. So for example, a lot of things on our Facebook page shouldn't always be about Plexus, right? Let's say you're good at knitting, or you're good at cooking, or you're good at organizing, or you're a therapist, or you're a nurse, or you're really into working out. You can use those things that you're good at to post about on your Facebook. Do a live video on how to sew a button on a pair of pants. I mean, people really want to see this stuff. You're adding value to your audience. Do a live video on a tip of how to do the best bicep do if that's what you're into. You know what I mean? These are things that we can teach our audience. The pressure cooker that I just got, like I'm just trying to share like my experience with it. I don't know what I'm doing. And so I'm just kind of teaching people as I'm teaching myself. The best way to learn is to teach. So do that with your audience. You're going to get a more captive audience instead of just posting about your kids and then posting about Plexus and then posting about your kids and then posting about Plexus. It's all involved, right? Everything is part of it. It's your story. It's your journey. Facebook is your diary. And that's how you use attraction marketing, is you kind of just entice people to want to follow you. And that's the question that I love to ask myself a lot is, would I want to follow me? And so if I'm saying no, then I need to kind of readjust those things. Would I want to follow me? Ask yourself, okay? Right, what value are you giving to your audience? Tips, suggestions, fun facts, in addition to all the things, your kids, your cats, your, whatever. But it should be a nice kind of thing. So we kind of strayed from what I was talking about, which is coachability. But I think you all understand what that means. You have to be willing to be coachable, or else it's going to be a tough uphill battle, in my opinion. It's just not necessary. There's so much help available. So, and I, for one, love help. Okay. Emily said, the girl you met at Ann Taylor Loft, did you bring up Plexus? I absolutely did. So she was helping me with finding some clothes. And I don't remember how we got on the topic. Oh, I guess I do. So I said that I was going on spring break with my kids, and that I, just had my last baby 10 months ago, and I had 4, and I thought I was like big stuff because I have 4 kids. And she's like, I have 12. I was like, what? So I was like, oh my God, like no way. She was in her 50s. Her youngest is 12. But she, her oldest is 32 or 33. So she said, I totally get it. Like, you'll bounce back and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, it's nice that I have like a sitter on Mondays or whatever. So I can work, but I'm just kind of taking the time to get some clothes because we're leaving next week. And she's like, oh, what do you do? And I said, oh, I own my own health and wellness company, actually. And my husband owns furniture stores in the area. Have you heard of Tenpenny Furniture? And she said, yeah, because we were in the same town as the stores was in. And I said, yeah, it's been a great fit for me. And I just was talking a little bit about why I fell into it and how it's changed my health. And then we were just talking about kids and just being a mom and all this stuff. And then she said, I might have some babysitters for you. And I said, oh my gosh, like that would be awesome. Like I would love to have, I said, I have a babysitter on Mondays and Fridays and we love her and she's in her 20s and I feel super comfortable with her. She's more like a nanny, like she doesn't do weekends. And I said, but we'd love to have some extra, for date nights and things like that. So we just talked about that while I was like trying on clothes. We were talking like through the thing. And so I said, before I leave, she ended up checking me out, but I said, before I leave, I'll get your information. Are you on Facebook? And she said, yeah, I am. And I said, is your daughter on Facebook? And she says, well, the 19-year-old isn't, but the 24-year-old is. And I said, awesome. So she wrote down all of their information. I friended her on Facebook right there at Loft. And then I friended her daughter, who's 24. And I'm going to have them come over and meet the kids. And they're just part of my network now. Did I sell her Plexus? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? But she's part of my network. Now, if she would have said to me, gosh, I struggle, I cannot sleep. Of course, I would have said, well, then we definitely need to talk about, what I have to help you with that. You know what I mean? But that did not come up organically, right? But what came up organically, me making a connection with somebody and me getting them, in my audience. You know what I mean? So now I've got a babysitter or 2 and 3 new, potentials. You know what I mean? And her family is massive. There's 102 grandchildren. Like, you know what I mean? Who knows? It's never about who they know. It's about who they know. It's not always about who you know. It's about who they know. And so, it's just one of those things where you're constantly wanting to network. So therefore I don't feel pushy. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm pushing anything. I'm just letting it naturally come up. Perhaps if we were able to talk a little bit longer, we probably may have gotten into health things. I mean, she's 50 some years old and working at the Loft, maybe she had to take a second job. I mean, you know what I mean? So who knows what'll come of it. But yeah.
How do you it just seemed like so natural because, the babysitter situation. I mean, for some reason it's like, it's like the book we're reading. Like there's no stigma around that. Like, oh, I need babysitter, but I mean, it's just so funny. Like I had this whole long, gut health conversation with my hairdresser and her sister sells Shaklee. And it just seemed kind of like I kept bringing up, I share supplements and we kind of talked about it. But I love how you didn't bring up Plexus again, but then added her to your network. And I'm thinking now, I should have just somehow got her on, got her Facebook account.
Absolutely. And the way that you can do that is,
I'm trying to think, how should I have said that? Like,
yeah, is to just find something in common with the person. You know, I mean, does she always do your hair?
she does, and this was the first time, like, I'm still uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to like meet somebody and be like, oh, I do Plexus, you know, and it did come up super organically this time. And that's pretty much what we talked about the whole time, is just symptoms people have and all these different ways people
Yeah.
get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm wondering how I could have said, like, I don't know, maybe I could have said, it sounds like we're interested in the same thing. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to
Well,
think.
if she always does your hair, I mean, like,
Right.
all my hairstylists are like, that are like my friends, and I'm friends with them on Facebook now. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I didn't talk to them. I never even really talked to them about Plexus right away. I just, you know what I mean? Like, if it came up, it came up. But I just friended them on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't know if I know her last name.
yeah. And so I think you could have said something like that, you know, like, you know, I do talk a lot about that on Facebook, and I'd love to stay, you know, connected. Does she have kids? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you can kind of talk about that, you know, and just kind of friend somebody on Facebook, and not have to make it uncomfortable with like long conversations about gut health or about, you know what I mean? Like, and like you said, this time it was like completely organic, but I know in the past for me, like, I've almost been like saying things to try to get something like that to come up, and it still feels awkward,
Right.
you know? So I have found that it's best to just talk and befriend and just listen a lot to kind of see where you can add value. And
yeah, I'm thinking now, actually, like, my way in should have been, she kept mentioning all these, it was a lot about gluten stuff, gluten allergies and stuff. And she actually told me some things I didn't know. And there was this one makeup line, and I could have maybe said, gosh, you know, can I friend you or something in case I forget that makeup, you know what I mean? The makeup line she recommended or something, like, maybe you can send me more information on that or something. I don't know. That might have been good in.
Yeah. Or even just like, you know, I really enjoyed talking with you about this stuff. Like, are you on Facebook? Because I'm pretty active on Facebook.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's it, you know? And I don't think, I mean, since she cuts your hair, I don't think it's super weird if you're able to find her to friend request her. Like, if you're able to, I don't think that's really weird. Does anybody else think that's weird? I mean, I'm friends with all my people that have ever done my hair. I don't know. So that's probably what I would have done. I probably would have just said, you know, I really enjoyed having this conversation with you. It sounds like, you know, it's something that you know, like to talk about or whatever. You know, I'm really active on Facebook. Are you on Facebook? Let's stay in touch.
I need to get better at that.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, I mean, I just kind of have to go with the flow. But I've been being more intentional about just having conversations, right? Just being pleasant, just being talkative and social and open. And when you have that attitude and that just aura, I think, about you, things like fall into place. It doesn't ever seem awkward. And I think that's what I'm trying to get better and better at, is just presenting myself in that way of, you know, I'm a fun person that likes to have a conversation, you know, and that's because I used to like go into stores with like my head down and like get my stuff, get out of here. And I've changed that. And I think that's important. Smile, you know, be talkative. So yeah, because you never know. And I'm just getting more bold, because let's say like I didn't have that conversation with her about kids and all that stuff. I probably would have been able to bring up Plexus in some way, shape, or form, because I could have said I was coming to shop for clothes because I just had a baby and I lost a bunch of weight. And, you know, we could have just, you know, started up a conversation, and then I would have been like, are you on Facebook? I would love to stay in touch. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, what if she's like, no? I'd be like, okay, cool. See ya. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I think we need to just detach from the outcome a little bit. Now, a hairstylist is a little different because if you make it super awkward and then you want to go back, it'd probably be weird. Okay, let's go on to Becky's questions. So she wants to know a little bit more about the follow-up system. Okay, so I made a video on this, Becky, and I will send it to you or tag you in it on our page. But it doesn't go into your specific question, which was what I write on them. And so I'm just going to share like a little bit about what I do. Everybody, first of all, that I say boo to about Plexus or that reaches out to me gets a note card. Anybody that joins my team, any of that. Okay, so you all have a note card. Well, Becky, you don't, and Jamie does. She's like my adopted level 2. But most people, it's just my level 1s and my customers and my potential. But I talk to people that engage with me. I don't need a note card. So just because you don't have a note card doesn't mean I don't love you. But anyway, so what I do is, let's say I reached out to Catherine today about Plexus. I'm going to pull out a note card, put their name at the top, put 319, reached out about the opportunity today, whatever. If they don't respond to me, I'm going to put them 3 days later. And I use a follow-up call or a training call that's from the DDD team. Anderson. It's a 10-day follow-up system. I'll send that to you as well.
Okay.
And basically, you just go in 10-day increments, and then you kind of just push people out as you feel comfortable, right? Because you're not going to want to message someone every day. But like a new customer, you're going to want to follow up the day they get the products, the day 3 of their products. You're going to want to walk them through it. So you're going to want to keep them very close. And the only way for me to stay organized is to use this follow-up system. Otherwise, I wouldn't know who to contact. Every day I sit down and I have, all these people, like all these note cards are people that I have to follow up with after the Zoom is over. 40 people. And then this is my follow-up box. So it's just the 1 through 31. So I don't know what that is. Very good. Okay. So today's the 19th, so I reached out to Catherine, and then I'm going to put her behind 2021, 22, behind 22 or 23. So that if she doesn't get back to me, I'm going to probably, if it was my first message to her, I'm going to shoot her another message and just say, hey, I know you're busy. I get it. But I'm wondering if you got my message and what your thoughts are. If at that point she doesn't respond to me, I'm just going to do some engaging on Facebook, some intentional engaging. Maybe if I know she struggles with migraines or I know she struggles with finances, I'm going to make my posts towards that. When I see that little green light that shows that Catherine's online, I'm going to make a strategic post. Yes, maybe it's a little sneaky, but I'm really just trying to help her, right? And then I might engage with her. So when her note card comes up the 3rd time, if I still haven't heard from her, I'll go to her Facebook page and see if she's made any posts in the last 24 hours. Do not go further than that. It's creepy. But if in the last 24 hours they've made a post that you can genuinely comment on or like, do so. Okay. Now, if they're talking about the devil and how they're an atheist and you're not, don't like it and comment on it. Right. We want to be genuine. We don't want to be fake to get a sale. That's not what we're doing. But I engage people all the time. I cannot tell you the amount of people that I've talked to for over a year, over 2 years, who finally jump on board. It's all about their timing. But without these note cards, there's no way I could keep up. People are always like, I don't know how you do this. I don't know how you remember to reach out and see how I'm doing, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't. I'm like, I have a system that I use, you know. Sometimes people come to my mind, but it's hard. But I want to make sure everybody gets that follow-up, right? If someone's not responding to you at all, and it's been months and months and months and months, you know, I just put their card out further and further. So I'm still engaging them, but not like hounding them. If I have specials, right? If corporate has specials, if I make up my own special, sometimes I just make up a special for one person. Nobody needs to know. I just send them a message saying that I'm having a special and gear it towards what would be good for them. And that's what I do, you know? So there's lots of ways to get fence sitters off the fence. But that's how I use the box. So my note cards are just shorthand. This person nobody knows. So I met her at an Ann Arbor show, and emailed her some information about the triplex and blocks, which she requested. Then I mailed a 3-day sample. She received the trial on 3/28. She ordered the triplex on 3/31 after I talked to her about the trial. So I was very, you know, diligent with that. So she ordered right away. She got the products on 4/3. So I just write that. Follow-up sent on 4/5 to see how her first 2 days went. And she, you know, she looks like she gained weight 4/10, and she was all freaked out. So we troubleshooted. I sent her a video on why that might happen during detox. So that's kind of it's just shorthand. So I know when their card comes up what we talked about last, right? So I can come into the conversation knowledgeable and not be like, how you doing? She'll be like, not well, remember? You know? And so we need to just try to keep up as much as we can. And so these are really helpful for me. Some people have like a power or a spreadsheet. I'm just a paper and pen girl. So this is what works best for me. So I will send you that video. Does that help though, as far as the content of those? Okay. The other thing that, go ahead.
So I use that same system, and I kind of found like, I don't know, I got this like other box where I'm just kind of taking people out and just putting them there where they're like not responding. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know, because like my box just gets too full, and then it's like so overwhelming. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like you have like a stack of 20, and it's like having that many people like every single day. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like they're not responding.
Yeah.
I don't know, like what is your...
So that has come across my mind. And I don't necessarily have another box, but like I will tell you, there's probably about 5 or 6 people in this stack, because this stack, and I usually have a stack this big every single day, will probably take me 10 minutes. Okay. That's all we're talking about. It's super quick messages. I'm just following up with people. I'm just reaching out. I'm liking a post. I'm commenting on things. That's it. I'm not, you know, dilly-dallying. If I focus, it takes me 10 minutes. But there's probably going to be about 5 or 6 people where I'll be like, you know, like this person. The last time I messaged her was on January 30th, and I've been just engaging her since. She's non-responsive. I'm probably just going to go to her page and see if there's anything in there. If not, I'm just going to put her back in there somewhere. You know what I mean? That's all I can do, you know? But I feel like my concern is if I got a non-responsive box, that I would forget about them. And sometimes, it doesn't happen a ton, but sometimes my non-responsors come around. And there's some on our team that are doing really well. And so that makes me want to keep them in there. But I can understand the overwhelming, because sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, like how am I going to get through all this?
I know. I think I need to use like voice message more with, I don't know.
I never, ever type out anything anymore.
So much longer. I don't know. Mine takes me more than 10 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I am just like, hey, this is your third day on the products. Where are you at with BioCleanse? Where are you at with probiotic? How are you feeling? Do you have any symptoms? Let me know so we can problem solve. Hey, you didn't respond to me, blah, 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 blah. I wanted you to take a peek at this at this video and let me know what your thoughts are. Hey, how are your kids? Blah, blah, blah. That's it, and I'm just reconnecting with them and trying to figure out where they're at. Or you said you were going to order 85 times and you haven't, it's no big deal. If you don't want to do this, just let me know. I pride myself on following up with people. You know what I mean? These are the messages I'm sending. They're 2 to 3, 4, 5 seconds. That's it. I'm not, that's, or I haven't talked to you in a while. How are you doing? How are you feeling? That's it. Or I saw you were sick. That sucks. I'm never sick. You know what I mean? I don't really say that, but you know what I'm saying?
I know. Sometimes you want to, though.
Oh, I do. I know. And the people that I know really well, I will say stuff like that. I'll be like, oh, I heard everybody in your house is sick again. We haven't been sick all winter. Girl, stop being so stupid and try these products, And some people I can say that to because I know them and whatever. But some people just like to complain, and that's their identity. And that's one thing I'll say right now. Okay. The people that are chronic complainers, they're going to be your hardest because if they lose the ability to complain, they're not going to know what to do with themselves, right? That is their life. They like to complain and they like people to say, I'm so sorry. Let me, blah, 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 blah. They don't want help because what are they going to do then? You know what I mean? And so that's more of a job for Catherine. We need to send them to her so they can get some therapy, because that is unfortunately something that, I have a therapy background, so sometimes I lend a hand, but it's just, people are nuts. So just my advice is to find people that are ready and not worry too much about the people that just want to complain and be sick and tired. Okay. Let me see what else was on that list. Okay. So as far as if you're feeling, Becky, if you're sending a message and you're feeling like it's pushy, probably just a good reason to maybe run it by Nicole or myself, or just think about why you think it's pushy, and we can kind of help you a little bit, because there is a difference between being intentional and bold and being pushy. I think being confident in what we have and offering it, because usually it takes there's a great follow-up video. I'm thinking of all these videos that I want you to watch, but it's I can be overwhelming, so I'm sorry.
No.
But there's some great follow-up videos. It takes 10 to 11 times for people to jump on board exposures. And the sale or the jumping on board usually takes place between the 8th and the 11th exposure. So if we give up on exposure number 5, we're potentially not going to be able to help somebody, because most people don't jump on super quickly. Some will, but a lot of people won't. It just depends on your relationship with them, I think, if they trust you and where their readiness factor is. Because some people are way past the readiness point, they're ready. They're ready yesterday. But some people are just starting to think about this stuff. And so it's going to take more exposures. If
you could please send me some of that follow-up for the videos, that would be great.
I'll spam you with some videos. No problem.
Okay. That's what I probably do at night right before going to bed. So
yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
I'll send some videos your way on follow-up, and I'll send my video on my card system. And then the other thing that you talked about is just the posting etiquette. So the compliance factor is very different. It's changed a lot even since I've started. We have to be careful that we don't make any medical claims. So if we're talking about a product or about something we've gotten help with, it has to be mentioned on our website in order for us to say it. So I can't say, I no longer have to take, I don't have diabetes, but I no longer have to take insulin for my diabetes. Thank you, Plexus. I can't say that because we are not a diabetic product. Yes, it levels blood sugar, but we don't have the clinical studies to say that our products can help people get off insulin. That is too dangerous of a statement to make. And we don't want anybody saying, oh, well, I'll just stop my insulin and take Slim. That puts us in a real bad situation. So we have to be careful with what we say. Same goes for like for me, like I've been able to get off an antidepressant or 8. And so like I can't say that. I can talk to people about that privately, but I can't say that, because what if somebody stopped their antidepressant and went on our products and ended up committing suicide? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to be involved in that at all, right? What we want is we want to encourage people to educate themselves on gut health, on the gut-brain axis, look into how working on that could help their mood, right? Because there is a large connection. And then to work with their doctors on titrating off their medicine if they feel comfortable and ready to do so. That's what we want to do. We're not doctors. So to be very careful with compliance. So just use what's on the website about the products, okay? That's the safest way. Any images that are Plexus related, like images that were made by someone, make sure that they don't have anything non-compliant on them. That's why you never see me use Plexus images for the most part. I'm using pictures of my own products, pictures of me, and pictures of something else, or quotes or whatever, okay, inspirational stuff. I'm not using, not to mention that some of those pictures are super salesy and cheesy too, in my opinion, and it's kind of a turnoff. So I will send you a Zoom that I did about attraction marketing. If I can find it, I'm sure I can. And Google that, attraction marketing. And there's lots of resources. Ray Higdon and his wife do a lot of training. Ray Higdon is awesome. Actually, I'm going to post a video that I watched of his today. He's like super straightforward and funny and kind of like tells you how it is, which I like. But the other thing, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, go.
I was going to say, because I've noticed that it's helped me with my headaches. So is that something that I could say, oh, haven't had so much headaches, thanks, Plexus, something like that? Or is that going to be kind of in that?
I'm trying to think of what the compliant word, does anybody remember? Catherine, I think, is trying to unmute herself. Discomfort. Thanks, Catherine. Yeah, so you can say, since starting Plexus, I haven't had as much head discomfort. Sounds kind of weird. I don't know if we're allowed to say headaches. I feel like we can't. I know we can't say migraines.
See, I think that's going to probably be kind of tricky for me in the beginning, because I'm not used to that.
So basically it's like any medical term. And so headaches, I believe, are considered a medical term. The only medical terms we're able to use, again, are the ones on our website, like cholesterol and lipids are on our website. So we're able to use those words. We're able to use fat loss because it's on our website, or fat burning. We're able to use detoxification or gut health or things like that. But I can't talk about Hashimoto's, okay, which I have, a thyroid autoimmune disorder. But here's the thing, and this is what I want everybody to understand. It doesn't matter, okay? People think this is a disadvantage to us, but it doesn't matter. Our social media accounts, again, should be used to attract people to us. The less information we can put on our social media pages about Plexus, the better. The magic and the growth lies in reaching out to people personally with a voice message, if at all possible. That's how I get customers and ambassadors. I don't get customers and ambassadors from simply posting on Facebook, okay? Facebook is our canvas. So if somebody knows 3 people that do Plexus, but they see that I post all the time about it and am passionate about it, they're probably going to come to me, right? That's why we need to be consistent and post on Facebook. And also it's the education piece. But, you could say, a lot of the discomfort, the head discomfort, hold on, Catherine said something. Let me read this. Frequent throbbing head discomfort. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like it. So, you know, you just have to be kind of creative. And you can say, you know, since starting Plexus, I have not had so much frequent throbbing head discomfort. You know, it feels good to feel good. Thank you, Plexus. Whatever. Yeah.
Or what did it like prevent you, Becky, from doing? You know what I mean? Like the energy thing, like remember your example always like was the bed, you know what I mean? I'm not using this as often, or you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm thinking of my kids, but like ice packs, you know what I mean? Like I don't need these as, you know, like Kate was saying, kind of piquing interest, you know what I mean? And
yes.
I don't know.
Very, very good example, Emily. That's exactly what I'm trying to say and not doing a very good job at it. So what did your headaches, what Emily's saying is, what did your headaches cause you to miss in life or cause you to feel? Obviously discomfort, but like, did you sleep them off? Were you not able to participate in certain things? Like, what did it do?
I kind of lived with it. I basically took anywhere between 3 to 6 or 9 ibuprofens a day. So
Okay.
that's pretty much what I just dealt with.
And you're no longer taking them?
No.
Okay.
No.
So a post could say something like, so glad I no longer have to pop Motrin all day long. Finally I'm able to not have to just deal with my constant throbbing head discomfort. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the thing. Sometimes you just don't know how good you can feel until you feel that way. And so I think a lot of people live with things because they don't think there's a solution, right? And so I think sharing it in that way is a great idea, you know. So thankful I don't have to pop Motrin, 9 times a day or 6 times a day. I finally don't have to just live like that. That piques curiosity, right? Where instead of like, let's say it was compliant, you could say, I'm so glad that I've been working on my gut health. And now that I take this probiotic and this cleanse, I no longer have to take this Motrin because my gut health is improved and I no longer have headaches. People aren't going to be as interested. Whereas if somebody sees that it's something that you've struggled with for so long and you found relief, someone's going to say, well, why don't you have to take that anymore? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's attraction marketing. That's getting people to come to you instead of you having to reach people.
And that's when you do the instant message and the voice message and stuff like that. Try to get to them.
Yes. Jamie. Yes. So Jamie just sent an example, which is great. Finally, I'm at a point in my life where I'm not having to live off Motrin all day. Thank you, Plexus. Okay. Another great thing. Perfect. Good. Thank you, Jamie. And then yes. So if somebody likes that post, okay, or if somebody comments on that post that's not involved with Plexus and is like, why? Instead of answering on that thread, just say, oh my gosh, I would love, I'll just shoot you a message and tell you what's going on. That's it. Because again, you don't want to scare somebody off, you know what I mean? Or for them to think that you're trying to sell them something. So you just message them and say, it's pretty cool. You know, I'm just really excited that I no longer have to take Motrin all day. Kind of was just living with the pain, but ever since I started working on my gut health, I feel so much better. And then, you know, then you can end with a question. Do you struggle with headaches? Okay. It's best to end messages with a question so that they can, you know, respond to you. You put the ball in their court, but you also elicit a response. So ending any messages and reach outs you send with questions is a great way, and it'll be in some of our videos that I send you. But yeah. Any other questions? I hope this was helpful. Oh, Jamie, your kitty's so cute. All right. Well, I hope you ladies have a good rest of your Sunday evening. I have a busy week ahead. We will not have a training next Sunday. It's spring break, and I am going to be in Orlando with my kids. So, yeah. So, thanks. I'm super excited. We're staying at a resort that has a pirate ship pool and all these water slides, and they're super excited. So, it'll be fun. But I have lots going on this week. So if I don't get back to your messages as quickly as I typically do, I still love you. It's just I'm crazed. Okay. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Becky, look, I'll send you those videos. Nicole, do you want me to include you on that just so you know what I'm sending? All right, cool. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.